Hi, Facebook. We're here for a live stream with an incredible guest. Oh my gosh, Mary Chris Foxworthy. If you have not heard of her before, you are in for a treat, and we have the full-length interview coming. So today we're just giving you a little teaser. I'm bringing her on here live streaming to say hello to everybody. Can you tell everybody where you're tuning in from, Mary Chris, so that they know where in the world you are? And what would you say your job title is?
I'm in Metamora, Michigan, and we're the state that you can hold up your hand and figure out where you live. So we live in the thumb. That's where Metamora is. And I'm an author, but truth be told, the horses are the ones that wrote the book. I just helped them a little bit.
You are, oh my gosh, such a force to be reckoned with. I love your work so much. We first met at Briar Fest. We do talk about in this interview how one of her horses became a Briar model, so you're going to want to hear the whole story. And, we've met a couple times through the Carriage Driving Association, and we talked a little more about this at Villa Louis, which is the biggest carriage driving event of the year in the nation. But why the community of driving is so special. For those who might be tuning in today who haven't yet heard the whole interview because it hasn't dropped, what would you say one thing about carriage driving is that makes it so special?
Camaraderie.
Mm, totally.
Yeah.
An interesting point, and we unpack this a little bit more, is your friend Gloria Austin, who was also a force of nature. May she rest in peace. And could you just speak on how she supported the world in better understanding not just the history of carriage driving, but all kinds of equestrian heritage?
She had a museum in Florida that was one of the largest carriage museums in the world, and the largest one in America. And she had a magnificent library. She traveled all over the world to get a history of horse books, and she used to do presentations about horses and so on. And she wanted so badly for her presentations to be translated into books. So she hired me as her research writer, and I wrote about 18 to 20 books for her, all about the history, using her magnificent library, all of her contacts that she had. I was blessed.
And all from the horse's perspective.
Yeah, well, a lot of it, the books that I wrote for the children are from the horse's perspective. Many of the books that I wrote for her, there was one about World War one about fire horses, one about mules. So a lot of different books that we wrote on just horse history in general.
Ooh, so powerful. We also talk about horse idioms, some of my
Yeah.
favorites. One we didn't touch on is horse sense. Could you speak on that for a moment?
Oh, horse sense. Well, that's because a lot of people thought that the horse had more intelligence than the person. So they would call it, you don't have any horse sense, because the horse, some of the horses did seem like they were smarter than their owners.
Which is still true to this day.
Yeah, right, right. Exactly. Sometimes you've got to watch it and say, uh-oh.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And that's so funny because I actually thought it was about better understanding the senses of the horses, that they're, really because they're prey animals taking in everything, but
Right,
you actually think it's the intelligence of the horse. Maybe the same
right.
thing? Not
Maybe
quite.
a little bit, yeah.
Oh my gosh, so good. Wow, there are so many other things we covered. We talked a little bit about historical horses. We didn't get into the story of Bucephalus, but how you entertain children by bringing them into the experience of meeting one of your horses. Many, many children have never met a horse today. And what might happen when you bring a horse into a classroom? Would you just give us maybe one story?
Uh, Lots of times when we bring the horses in, well, most of the children have never seen a horse, but I think what's most remarkable for them is the appreciation that they gain for a horse history because we take them through ancient times and battles and so on. And one of the instances we talk about is Alexander the Great and Bucephalus, and he did 2 million square miles with a horse, and they just find that unbelievable. They can't even imagine. So they start appreciating the horse a whole lot more when they understand what the horse has done through history.
So powerful. And your appreciation of your horses, the ones you call home, family, they're part of you. We talk about your four horses. We didn't really touch on your own children. Have you passed the legacy of loving horses on to them? Is it in your blood? What do you think?
Well, they're kind of busy now. They're in their 30s, so they're kind of busy. But there's grandchildren, and yeah, I make sure they get a horse gift every Christmas. Our granddaughter, her little horse sweatshirt is her favorite thing to wear. So. And she has her bedroom's all unicorns. So I'm working on it.
Oh, keep
Next
working on it,
generation.
grandmother. Keep
Yeah.
working on it. It was definitely my grandmother who passed horses on to me through Grandmother's Week, but it skipped a generation. My mom traded her horse for a guinea pig with her sister.
Oh
So,
dear. Yeah, our kids showed them when they were younger. They did show the horses, but high school comes and busy
yeah.
college and all that kind of stuff.
I think as we
So,
wrap up, folks who are concerned about this generation and concerned about all the changes with AI, and we really talk about how history repeats itself, but you had such a beautiful perspective on your hope for humanity and for this next generation, given that they're all on their phones, and maybe how horses can help. Would you touch on that?
yeah, my feeling is that, they're so into their phones that they can't appreciate what's around them. And we talked a little bit about how if you look at a Lions Club or an Optimist Club, how it's all older people and the
Mm,
younger people aren't getting involved in things. And if we can bring to them the history of the horse so they can appreciate what the horse has done, or in anything in life, if you can appreciate the past, you might appreciate the present a little bit better and
mm.
might look toward the future in a different way of looking at things if you can truly appreciate what happened in the past.
Absolutely. Love that so much. And for anyone tuning in today who's like, who is this Mary Chris Foxworthy? I must get to know her better. Please tell us your website. How can they find you?
It's hoofbeatsthroughhistory.com. So you can find everything about me and the horses there, a little bit of history about me. Each horse has their own page on the site. You'll learn about them. And then Hark, our Briar horse, has his own Facebook page. It's HD Harkness, and he's very funny on his Facebook page.
Oh my gosh. Is he watching now? I have something to say to him. No.
Uh, you know what? He looks in the window. It's about 5 o'clock here in Metamora, and that's dinner time. So he starts looking in the windows. He makes eye contact into the house.
Oh my gosh. I bet he is going to say something about his mom being on Facebook here. So I can't
Yeah,
wait for
right.
his comment. Thank you so much, Mary Chris. Everybody have a beautiful day. If you loved this, share it with a friend, subscribe, follow along, leave us a review. And I appreciate you so much. Thank you for sharing your work with us today.
Thank you, Kat. You're the best.
Oh, you are. Take good care.
Yep.